So what's going on, everybody? Hopefully you're enjoying your weekend. We're coming up on that time where we really start hearing NBA teams getting engaged with trades. It's after the first of the year. Trade deadline is a little over a month away. So teams are going to be positioning themselves. I feel like one team that's going to be interesting to look at are the Golden State Warriors. Now, you see, with the standings up there, they're in 10th. So they're a playing team right now. But as you can see from the title, like, is this the end of the Warriors championship era? Some might say it's probably been over. I can listen to that for sure, but I think the Warriors have backed themselves into a corner with the fact that Curry is still their best player. Yes, Curry is still a really good player in this league, but by now there should be somewhat of a vision for life after Curry, or even life once Curry slows down. Because, yes, he's still a dynamic 3 point shooter. He can still score, but he's not young. And unfortunately, for them being in 10th, a game under 500, Steph Curry still has to do way too much on this team. Klay Thompson's had his struggles. I get it. With all the injuries and everything, feel so bad for him. I hated seeing like what happened to Klay with one injury coming back from it, another injury. But he still has his moments where he looks a little bit like old Klay, but you can't rely on him anymore. The dude in the middle, Draymond Green, who is set to come back, he's been reinstated by the NBA. He's gonna need some time to ramp up. I guess get back into basketball shape. Don't know how long that's been. He's missed 12 games. How many more games is he gonna miss? Who knows? But he's about to come back. Don't know how much that adds because unfortunately, with this group of Warriors players, Draymond's impact isn't as great as it once was. When you had Steph at his Thanos level, just killing it from the perimeter. You get Klay as the best running mate in the league. You had like in Andre Iguodala or Kevin Durant, or you had more talented players around them that Draymond just had to be a facilitator and give you some toughness on defense, right? And be a versatile defender. That was also very key to the Warriors' run. But now, with Draymond being older and his skills diminishing, he just doesn't add enough to this team to be a winner or a contender. Not saying they're not going to make the playoffs, because maybe they're just destined to be a play-in team and get through the play-in tournament to be a lower-seeded Western Conference team. But teams at the top aren't necessarily afraid of the Warriors, right? Because, like I said, the only player you're really worried about, Steph Curry. Now, how did we get here, though? Well, some of the drafting. And trust me, as somebody who's a Patriots fan, I understand how this looks. And even the Celtics fan, because I'll get to that here in a second. But when they drafted guys like James Wiseman, Jonathan Kuminga, those two were seen as like the poster child for life after Curry, not necessarily like Curry moving on or retiring, but life where Curry doesn't have to be the number one option. They were hoping that Wiseman was going to show some promise, even though he didn't really show it at Memphis because of some issues he had down there. But they were hoping that with him being, tall, seemingly talented big man, that they'd be able to run some offense through him. Kuminga, who was young but super athletic, they were hoping that they would be able to run some things through him. Fast forward just a couple of years, Wiseman's already out. He's in Detroit. And Kuminga seems frustrated, or maybe he's just another miss. I don't know. But if you're going to tell me that Kuminga's now a miss, what do the Warriors do? Like, at that point, you're just hoping Klay regains his form, but gotta be honest with you, don't see that happening. and then you're hoping Draymond does what? Right? So I think the question needs to be asked. This trio, do they need to be split up this season? Like, don't wait, because Clay's going to be a free agent in the offseason. I know that they had a little bit of a dispute. Well, not necessarily a dispute, but the Warriors offered him kind of a short deal, like 2 or 3 years. I think Clay turned it down. So I don't know if the Warriors went back to him with something similar to that. Would he re-sign? But even then, even if you extended Thompson out, that doesn't fix any of your issues. That just elongates the problem. Unfortunately, some might say, this past offseason, they gave Draymond 4 years and like $100 million. Not sure if they can trade that. Who's taking that contract on, especially with his, issues on the court, staying on the court. I don't know who's taking that on. You might just be stuck with Draymond at this point. But, crazier things have happened in the NBA, of course. But it seemingly looks like Clay might just be gone. Contract reasons, I don't know. But even if they all were back together next year, there's no optimism with the Warriors. Why would there be? Curry would be another year older. Green would be another year older. And Clay, with the injuries to his lower body and his legs and knees and stuff like that, it'd be a year more wear and tear on those, body parts. That's why I think you try to find somebody who may want to take Draymond Green. You'd have to hope it's like a veteran team who thinks Draymond is like that final missing piece to get them over the hump. And then maybe you bring back some young, maybe unproven talent. Maybe that's what you can hope for. And then try it somewhat all over again with Curry and a new group of young players. And for Clay, like I said, if Clay wants to come back, short money, lower deal, I guess. But if not, you're going to have to find a comparable shooter to pair with Curry. Because I'm assuming Curry stays unless, and this is probably something that might happen, the organization goes to Curry and says, look, we can't build a winner. Do you want to stay here and play out your career here? Or is there a destination for you where you can maybe try to win another ring? Curry seems like a guy who would stay because he's won already, but you never know. But I'm going to assume Curry stays and you revolve around him for like the next couple of years and then try to get life after Curry. Got to find young talent. And I guess you probably have to put some blame on Steve Kerr because the fact that Wiseman or Kuminga haven't worked out, is it the players or the system and maybe the lack of confidence Steve Kerr had in those two? As part of the reason why they didn't develop at the rate Warriors fans would have loved to see. Look, Kerr is regarded as a great coach, and I can see that. But maybe Kerr is just a coach that prefers veterans, not necessarily the guy you want with young pieces. That's kind of what happened here. Mark Jackson was the coach when Curry, Clay, and Draymond were drafted in and were kind of going through the motions of becoming a winner. Then Kerr enters the equation, taking over from Mark Jackson. They take off. But they'd already been kind of veterans at that point. I don't know. It's a little sad to see. I'm sure some fan bases out there, like Lakers or whatever, probably love seeing this. Although the Lakers have their own questions. But like I said a little earlier, reason why I bring this up, I saw this when the Celtics had Pierce, Garnett, Ray Allen. There came that time where fans kind of knew time was running out. And they had that first round playoff series with the Knicks. And if you remember that series, I think that was right after KG's knee injury. So he was basically like dragging his leg around while he was running up and down the court. KG was still KG because of the energy and tenacity that he had, but there were some limitations because of the knee injury. Ray Allen was, he was older, I guess. So the offense that they ran with him when he first got there, him coming off a lot of screens and him almost open every time Rondo threw him the ball, wasn't the same anymore. Now he's coming off double screens and defenders are still locked in on him. So the offense became bogged down. Paul Pierce, once again, older, and he lost a step. So once the Knicks beat them in that series, we kind of knew that was the end. And then shortly after, you had the trade with Brooklyn, where Brooklyn takes on, those guys and they get all those picks back. I kind of think that's what the Warriors need to do here. Problem is, KG Pearson, well, we'll say KG and Pierce. I would say they're probably better than Clay and Draymond are right now. And plus, Brooklyn helped them out by really wanting those two, because Brooklyn was kind of in a situation where they needed some star power. But I don't know. Can the Warriors pull off something similar? I mean, obviously not on that level. No team's going to fall for anything like that anymore because of how big that deal blew up in Brooklyn's face. But can they find some team to take on Draymond and the rest of that 4 years, $100 million deal and give the Warriors like a young wing player and maybe a young big? Because you look at the Warriors now, they still need size. That's still an issue. And because somebody I haven't mentioned, Andrew Wiggins and his struggles this season, the wing play is now a big issue. So until they get those two sorted out, don't expect the Warriors to do anything big anytime soon. And to be more realistic about it, the Warriors probably are done competing for titles as long as, Steph Curry, Thompson, and Green are in the league. Like I said, unless they throw that Hail Mary and get like a Brooklyn type of deal for Draymond. Like I said, Clay's contract's running out, so you're not really going to get that for him. But at least Draymond's 4 years, maybe get something in return. But you let me know what you think. What should the Warriors do? Should they keep the band together and hope they hit on some draft picks? Or blow it up and start anew around Steph Curry? Because I feel like out of the three, Steph Curry is the one who probably has earned the right to end their career as a Warrior. But you let me know in the comment section. Greatly appreciated. Also, I think if you kind of notice, I've seemingly been starting to do a lot of these videos zeroing in on a certain team and their situation. So if you have a team you would like me to do one of these videos about, put that in the comments as well. So you have all the socials up here. Make sure you follow me. Greatly appreciate that as well. I will say this week, we'll have a Lakers video out because there's some interesting things going on there. With it being the end of the NFL season, Patriots fan, I got to do a Patriots, Belichick exit interview. That's the kind of stuff that happens at the end of the season. I'll do one of those this week. And I'll probably do one on the Falcons as well. So that's what you can look forward to this week. I'm going to try to give you 4, maybe even 5. Might even be a bonus one this week. We'll see. But thank you. Appreciate all of you. I guess I can still say Happy New Year. This is the first video you're catching of the new year. Happy New Year. I'm going to go on and get up out of here. But you be safe. God bless. I'll catch you next video. All right. I'm out. Bye.